Hey everybody, I'm Chris. Welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. On this channel I like to drink and review craft beers and I don't like to pay a whole lot of money to do it. So the beers I review here usually come in around the $1.99 and under range. And such is the case with today's selection. I paid $1.99 for the 12-ounce can of the Kolsch from Alaskan Brewing Company. Actually, in fairness, it does say it's a Kolsch style ale. So I guess it's Kolsch style as opposed to an actual Kolsch. Quick notes about a Kolsch and the descriptors and BJCP, if you're not familiar. BJCP is Beer Judging Certification Program. That's where you would find the characteristics of a variety of beer if you were looking into home brewing. But anyways, the descriptors for the Kolsch are subtle fruit and hop character on nose and tongue, medium bitterness, light gold color with delicate head, medium mouthfeel. If you are looking for it under the current BJCP app, you will find it under Pale Bitter Euro Beers. So there's the ins and outs on that. Now, quick notes about this particular beer among the reviewing community. Um, let's see here. 14 of my friends on Untappd have given it a 3.46. 35,000 of us have given it a 3.49. Beer Advocate has had 853 rankings, giving it a cumulative score of 3.6, which on their scale is good. And this beer has a 5.3 ABV. Typically, Kolsch's come in between 4.4 and 5.2, so this is actually a little boozy. And has 18 IBUs. Typically, Kolsch's have between 18 and 30 IBUs. So there you have it. Quick note about Alaskan Brewing. They are what I call successful, not corporate. You see them very frequently. You see them, well, I've seen them in a great number of states. But they are successful. They are not corporate. They don't go around buying other people's breweries and changing recipes and making making great beers, average beers. I did look and saw that I don't have actually a whole lot of experience drinking Alaskan brewing beers, and I've had a uh, a wide distribution on my opinions of them. I've only had two beers from them. Their wit, I only gave a 2.5, which isn't particularly surprising because I'm not a big fan of wit beers. And their Russian Imperial Stout, however, I give a 4.25. So very, very fond of that. Today I'm going to be using my Stange glass. Those of you who are unfamiliar with Stange glasses, Stange is the German word for stick. These are used for Kolsch's and lighter ales. As I understand it, if you go to Oktoberfest, this is kind of what they put palate cleansers in. Like if you're drinking strong, full flavored beers, then they might put like a Kolsch or, a beer like that into one of these for you just to sort of cleanse your palate and get ready for the next super strong beer. So there you have that. As I said, I paid $1.99 for this 12-ounce can. Let's see how this bad boy pours, shall we? And it's already, wow, I can already smell the malt. Super malty. Also getting kind of a fruity smell, and haven't even done a beard wipe with this yet. Now there you have the color. What's showing up on the camera is, I'm going to say, oh, only one shade darker than the actual color itself. The head seems to be moving kind of quickly. I'm going to describe that as semi-resilient. The bubbles are popping, but not super fast. Lots and lots of effervescence in there, and that's the problem with this camera, is that it's not showing that this is very, very effervescent. We got lots of bubbles. And so I'm going to do a quick beard wipe, see what I come across. Smell malt. I really smell malt. Stick my schnoz directly in, see what I can find. Again, more malt. I don't even hardly smell any hops at all. Um, at 18 IBUs, it's on the lower end of the IBU scale, the bitterness scale, so I'm not surprised I'm not smelling too many hops. Now a fruitiness is coming through, a very appley, crisp, sort of almost cider smell, but not quite as vinegary as a cider smell would be, so just the hint of apples. And the malt is sort of laying way, is sort of coming down. The apple fruity smell is coming through. That effervescence isn't going anywhere though, and as you can see, that head is still pretty there. So I might even have to refer to that as fully resilient. So I'm going to quit yapping my flap and get to drinking. Cheers. Well, I am going to describe that as a medium mouthfeel, as it should be. Um, it is light and fruity. Honestly, I'm starting. I think they may have used Pilsner Kolsch. I'm Pilsner Kolsch, Pilsner yeast in this, which is not altogether impossible. The one time that I made a Pilsner, I actually used Kolsch yeast for it. So you need that lagering yeast. But yeah, I am tasting the yeast. Um, as more air gets to it, it gives way to it is sort of a fruity flavor. I've got to say that the apple is coming through more than pretty much anything else. Um, Mostly apple. Then there's some malt on the back end of that, sweet malt. Now they said that they use Alaskan Brewing uses glacier water. They are up in Juneau, and it definitely tastes clean. That's one of the things you expect from a Kolsch is a clean tasting beer. And this one does. As you can see, the head is still pretty resilient even after having been poured through a few times. Um, yeah, it's a good clean beer, and I think everybody was giving it. Hmm, I'm going to give it higher marks than the 3.5 that and 3.6 that everybody else was giving it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a 4.0. I would give it a 3.7 when a beer arrives in a can. You will find out on this channel if you've never watched before, and those of you who watch it frequently will know I'm always willing to give an extra 0.25 to a beer for for arriving in a can, and I'd say this is a pretty good beer. 3.75 on its own merits and an extra 0.25 for arriving in a can for a 4.0. It's not a bad beer at all. In fact, it's actually pretty good. And I think maybe everybody was just being a little too hard. It says balanced, clean, and refreshing from Alaska to you. Yeah, makes perfect sense. And apparently it has it says a generous helping of both Northwestern and European hops. I gotta admit, I'm not tasting hoppiness, but I am tasting a crispness and I'm tasting a sort of fruitiness. And all in all, I'm going to say that this beer is worth the $1.99 that I paid for it, especially at a 4.0. So guys, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.